family to me. And before I turn it over to him, because he's such a humble, incredible individual. When you go back to the Batafa situation in 2021, 2022, and when his own federation was certainly not supporting him, I had to testify in both the House of Representatives and the Senate, and I made the same statement both. I said EJ Obiena is a world-class athlete, but he's even a better human being, and I will stand behind that. "12 days before the Olympic Games, a bit of a cryptic post he put on his Facebook and Instagram, where he alluded to some struggles and some health challenges, and that he would do his very best. Now, that was kept vague on purpose, because anything he says at that time goes right to his competition. And obviously, he doesn't want to disclose if he has a significant medical issue. This is not something you want to disclose. You can either withdraw, which EJ was never going to do, or you can basically stay vague. But to tell everything would be foolish, because it plays into the hands. All of these pole vaulters are friends. They all know each other, but when they get onto the arena, they're all lions and they're all fighting. Okay, so we kept it vague. EJ's a bit too humble to really say anything, but it's been a frustration of mine. We've seen through these Olympics, which is not uncommon, a number of athletes pull up and pull out and have various injuries of certain sorts. But what EJ went through in the 10 days leading up to the Olympic Games is quite a shock. He has had a reoccurring issue in the lumbar part of his spine, where he's had some issues in the connective tissue, muscle spasming, pain, and the inability to vault. Now, 2 years ago, this started, and he had a procedure done, which is called a denervation, where they basically deaden the nerve that is causing all the issues, and it allows him to compete and go on without any risk to his long-term health. Now, that denervation that was done in 2022, the nerve does grow back, and unfortunately, it grew back at a rate where he started to feel everything again here in 2024. So this whole season has been great inconsistency and having to take days off and having to take medications. Now, 12 days before the Olympic Games, it got so bad that he was unable to vault, and he couldn't even run with the pole. And so what we did is we searched for a doctor and basically a neurosurgeon in France who would administer. The only thing we could do was either pull out or have an injection of a cortisone derivative, some type of cortisone, to take out the inflammation, deaden a bit the pain, so that he could go into competition. And even that's far from perfect. Nobody in France would take this situation, because the doctors all said, we don't know him. And this is a procedure that's done in an operating room under a fluoroscope, so the needle can be guided into the direct spot that needs to be guided. So for a doctor to agree to do it, they need an MRI, they need an operating room, they need a fluoroscope, and they need an anesthesiologist, because he can't move during the procedure. So there is anesthesia that's administered. So it's not a simple procedure, just a shot. It's done in a very delicate area where they can't hit the nerve, and they have to put it in the right position. So 10 days before the Olympic Games, he's not even vaulting. And we have no opportunity to vault. So what did we do? None of you know this. This is known by a few people. We put EJ on a plane to Italy in over a 24-hour period. He left France, left the training camp in Normandy, flew to Rome, met with the doctors, had the procedure done. Then we put him back on a plane, brought him back to France. He then had to take a 48-hour recovery period from the shot, and then only then did he start to gradually work his way back. The fact that he competed, in my opinion, is amazing. The fact that he came in fourth is beyond amazing. I mean, he couldn't even carry his pole, and we've looked at it, and EJ can share more. He only got one workout session in with the pole before the Olympic Games. And now when you look what happened in the Olympics, and certainly in the Olympic final, I was there, he cleared the height of 595 on all of his attempts. What he did was he came down a bit too close to the pole and he knocked the bar off on the way down. This is a small adjustment that if he had the adequate practice time, these are the small nuances that would have been worked out. I mean, he was still adjusting to the pole, adjusting to the pit, adjusting to that situation. I can't even state how proud I am of this guy, and proud to know him, proud to work with him, proud to be a part of his team. The toughness and the unwillingness to make excuses. I mean, I think everybody should be so proud of him, and that's the real story. I don't think anybody else in the Paris Olympics was flown out of Paris in the middle of the night to a doctor in another country and then flown back. That's what he went through behind the scenes. He never wanted to really tell anyone about that, but I think that you should know the real story of what he went through and how amazing that fourth place is. So that's really all I have to say. I know EJ's probably upset with me for sharing this, but I believe that people should know and what he went through to do his very best, and what he ended up with is just downright shocking and amazing, and deserves our respect and our applause. Thank you for listening to my rant there for a minute, and I will turn it over to EJ himself. Thank you.
I think a lot has been said. What can I say? I think, yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be realistic, there's probably a year I didn't expect this to happen. It's this year. But sports, you never know. We push ourselves, we push our body to the limits, and things happen. And fortunately, this year, it's definitely been rough. I would say since right after indoors, even indoors, it's like just things after things and things after things. It's it's the reality of it. But I don't use that to say, okay, that's why the outcome was short of a medal. I believe I'm still fully capable of doing it. I still believe I'm fully capable of winning that, and that's what makes it painful even more, is that I was that close. All things considered, I was that close, and anyway, I think a lot of people have questions. I think I'll let you guys do the asking, and I'll answer everybody's questions as much as I can. I think I've said quite a bit, both here and on my social medias, and I'm open to any questions.
EJ.
Okay, let's go to the Q&A, Rose, and if you guys can put it into the chat your questions, we'll just take them one by one. And Rose, if you can moderate, please.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Okay, from PLC. You've consistently pushed the boundaries in pole vaulting. What's a new challenge or goal you're setting for yourself beyond your height? Perhaps in training technique or even mentoring other athletes?
My goal right now is to hopefully hold my world ranking. We'll see. I still don't know exactly what I'm going to be faced after this. We'll see how it goes. There's a few competitions still lined up for me this season. We'll deliberate and regroup and try to understand the possibilities of all of these. Other than that, I mean, mentoring kids, I think coaching is not yet on my table, and I really have respect to all the coaches out there. It's a hard job to do. I think being an athlete still is easier than being a coach. So I'm just happy to hopefully provide opportunities for the next generation. That's all I want to do. So I know that we've raised enough funds, and now we're trying to look for a place where we're gonna donate can donate the pit in some vaulting poles to a province, some in the Philippines where pole vaulting definitely has a lack of equipment, but not lack of talent for sure. So I want to do that. We'll definitely do that. It's not even I want anymore. That will happen.
All right. That's from POC, and they want to let you know that POC team is behind you all the time. And
Thank you so much, EJ.
yeah, from TV5, can you clarify what this spine injury was called? Can you describe how it felt for you? Did you have difficulty walking? Was there any point you felt like you're giving up? And there's a follow-up, and how's the spine injury during the final?
So it's a facet problem. It's the small joint at the back. It's between the L4, L5 region, but it's not just one facet joint, it's multiple facet joints, and those things have sensory nerves, and those nerves get triggered and irritated, and with that, they cause spasm, inflammation, restrictive movements, and all of these things. This has been reoccurring this season quite a bit. I was in the US when it first started. Yeah, I mean, if you watch closely the competition in LA, every time I walk out of the pit, it was very slow. It's not because I was trying to slow it down. I can't move right away after I jump. It spasms, it locks up, and sometimes it doesn't relax, and sometimes it does. I wish there was a specific point that I know, okay, this time it's gonna lock, this time it's gonna move. So we've tried a lot of things to try and manage it, but not a lot of things really work. The inflammation was there, and it's very visible in all the scans that I took. We didn't know what exactly is causing this, even until now. This is an irritation, but you can always get ablation again of the nerves, but then you're facing again a question of, okay, should you do the ablation if it's something, pain is a signal that means there's something wrong, and if you're just cutting the nerves, you're just cutting the pain signal. And yeah, probably if not Olympics, I wouldn't do it, but it is Olympics. It's the biggest sporting stage. So how I feel, basically, if it's in the bad days, you can't run. It's not that you have a problem. You feel it when you're walking. It's a bit of an issue, but you can walk. It's not like I'm in wheelchair or anything. No, I can walk. Maybe I can jog a little bit, but when it's really bad, I do remember even jogging, I feel it. Like I can't really run. Definitely vaulting is out of the picture. Running can happen. I think when it's not that inflamed, it's in the middle, like 1 to 10, how bad the spasm is. If it's at 5, you can run. Yeah, but if I'm being honest, I don't think it hindered me to perform. At least on the day of Paris Olympics, I don't think it hindered me to perform. How do you say this? Like, if I'm analyzing everything in a very without any emotion and just pure reality of things, I think it did affect me, but not on the competition day. It affected my preparation going in. It affected my consistency. It affected, I think, my overall program going into Paris. The goal was not to jump 590 or just jump 590 or try to win. That's the reason why, if you see the years coming from Tokyo, I've progressed, and I wanted to jump 6 meters because I want to come closer and closer. And the winning vault, the first winning vault at least was 6 meters, and I knew that was what's going to separate a lot of the guys. And going into this season, I wanted to be consistent to that. Yeah, but things happen.
All right. Okay. Will this spine injury be a challenge moving forward in your future sports event? And I guess the most important questions that we are all waiting for is 2028 Olympics still part of your plan?
Can you repeat the first part of the
Okay.
question?
Will this spine injury be a challenge moving forward in your future sports events?
It really depends. We're still figuring it out. Yeah, so as I said, you can always get the ablation, but is it the smart thing to do long term? And I think when I say long term, that's also my health, my overall health. I think also that's for the next years of my career and all of these things. For now, I think I'm still like processing a lot of it. I thought I was ready and everything, and thanks. As they pass, I think I understand more and more what how do you say what I feel and how I think I want to go and move forward. I'm taking it one day at a time still. Yeah, that's why I'm already looking for my competitions in the rest of the season. So there's a lot of how do you say? There's a lot of avenues to look at it, and yeah, but now there's no reason to be on pain meds and try to compete. So let's try to fix the problem, and yeah, let's see if that's what the doctor thinks. Finish the season. That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna be doing any risks for my health and long-term health plans. And we'll definitely take it from there.
Yeah, okay. So are you gonna skip some tournaments and just join the major ones?
I mean, I've not really joined any small tournaments this year. I think I've chosen
Okay.
a lot of the high-level competitions. It's been a very tough season for me. I think overall, I felt like I was just getting maybe 2, 3 sessions. I would say 3 sessions before Olympics that I started to be able to stitch together myself and get a kind of a good bearing of what I can do. And I think it definitely showed in the qualies, even in the final. The lack of consistency or repetitions that because of all these problems. Yeah, I can promise you guys I did everything that I can with all the circumstances I've dealt with, and I'm definitely proud of what I've achieved. But like I said, it doesn't really lessen the disappointment and pain of coming in fourth. Every other Olympics, 590 would have medaled. One miss at 580 that didn't even matter. Cost me a podium finish. It is sport. It can be beautiful and brutal at the same time.
All right. You also posted about the trouble transporting your poles or equipment. Did it cause problems during your preparations?
I wouldn't say. Well, it definitely didn't help that I snapped some poles. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's not an excuse. It's part of the sport, I guess. The troubles of transporting poles and all of these things, and I need to how do you say face reality that we're not we're not the Americans. I don't have 5 sets of poles. Those things are not cheap, and it's part of the journey. We're dealt with what we have, and we maximize what we can produce out of it. And it's part of being an athlete. It's part of being a Filipino athlete.
Yeah. So there's one from Danny Victoria. You've spoken about the challenge of being a pole vaulter and living away from home. Would you recommend this path to other Filipino athletes? Any advice for young ones inspired by your Olympic journey?
That's a tough one. To recommend the lifestyle that I'm doing, um, it's tough. It's tough to honestly say.
It's not for
that,
everybody.
yeah, it's definitely not. It's not something that I think you should just half-heartedly decide on. This is something that would take a lot from you, more than you think. You need to be able to be committed. You need to be able to understand the facts of it. You need to realize that, that time passes, and, your family, your friends, it's not going to be like, oh, I stay in Baguio. It's just I don't know, 5-hour bus ride going back to Manila. No, this is a full-time dedication. You need to do what needs to be done. And yeah, I think if you're committed to what you want to achieve, and you truly believe that's the path that you need to take, then you should do it. Definitely. I don't tell you to not do it because it's hard. No, you should do it because it's hard. And not a lot of people can do it. And if you are committed to it, I believe that you should. Am I just going to throw it out there in the works and say, oh, you should do what I've done, this is the path to success? No, I think I would not, because in good conscience, I can't say that everybody should do what I'm doing. It's not a balanced life. It's not the most ideal. And as much as sport, as I said, this life of ours is beautiful. It can be brutal. So, nothing is guaranteed in this world, and every day, like I said, Olympics, and every day you need to show up and you need to perform when you need to perform. And yeah, it's
let me add. I want to add something to give you an external observer's perspective. I've worked with the national team in the Philippines in track and field on and off since 2000, probably 7 or 8. And, you ask any athlete, do you want to go to the Olympics and win a medal? They say yes. It's not a question of what they want. The question is, are they prepared to pay the price? So there was one time this guy on the national team who told me he wanted to go to the Olympics. And I said, are you really prepared to do what it takes? And he said, yeah, and we talked it through. And the next day at practice at Rizal Stadium, he showed up with a bag of Jollibee French fries. And I looked at him and I said, you really think this is what world-class athletes are eating, is French fries? Do you believe that? And, he kind of didn't say anything. I said, look, this is what separates EJ and Maristela Torres from everybody else. They were so disciplined. So I'll tell you an EJ story. 3 hours after the Olympic final, we had a little get together with Patafa and some of the other federations and some of the other folks, EJ's parents and that. We're in this restaurant in France, and he's down. Okay, as you know, this is only a couple days ago, and so we're in this restaurant, and I say, "What do you want to eat?" And he looks at me, kind of like checks for confirmation. He said, "I think I'm going to have the cheeseburger." And I said, "Go ahead. You've earned it." And he ordered the cheeseburger, and when he took the first bite, he looked over and he said, "It's been 3 years since I've had a bite of any kind of bread." Because that's not part of his diet. The discipline of this individual. He was here on Christmas Day, this past Christmas. We were sitting in my house opening presents at 9 o'clock in the morning in Dubai. He looks at me and he said, "I wonder what Mondo's doing right now." And I said, "Well, I have no idea, but I'll bet he's celebrating Christmas." And he said, "Why don't we go to the gym? Because I need to do more than he does." And by 10 o'clock in the morning, EJ and I had opened the gym and we're working out on Christmas Day. At many times I've told him after he won competition, I said, "Why don't you go have one piece of pizza with your friends?" And he would refuse. This is the discipline. This is the life he's had. I've been with him in Italy. He lives alone. He goes home 8 hours a day of the same routine every day. No family, no support, cooking his own meals, and never having a beer with his friends, never having a Coca-Cola, never having a bag of French fries, never having any halo, never having any white rice for years. And that's why he's hesitant, but that's the price you have to pay to go all the way to the top. The price, we see the beauty of it, and we see the glamour and the newspaper stories and the articles. He's living a life of total discipline. And he felt bad about having one cheeseburger after the Olympic final. Think about all the food all of us on this call. Think of the food we're putting into our bodies. We don't even have an ounce of regret. He's looking at only eating perfect stuff. So I think, I've seen his discipline. He's breathtakingly disciplined. It's just on another league. He never misses a workout, never misses anything, never cheats on anything, never has a cheat meal. And that's the stuff that I think what makes him hesitant to talk about it, because it's not always again, we see the glamour, he sees the reality. It's a tough life. And very few athletes, in my view, are really prepared to pay the total price.
All right. Next question is, you're now 28. Your window is still open, but there's an end in sight. What's next for EJ Obiena, both in and out of sports?
To be honest, for pole vault, 32 is still pretty young. Tim Mack won his first Olympic gold in Athens when he was already 33. Sam is already 32, and he has his best finish just yet. Pole vault is such a complex sport. It takes a lot of years perfecting the movement and believing and having that consistency and trusting yourself and all of these things. Mondo started at a very young age. I started at a very young age, but I think the difference is we took different paths. He was born in a family that has the knowledge already of pole vaulting. I was born in a family that loves pole vaulting, loves the sport, but for being honest, lacks the foundation, the complete foundation of it. And I needed to change and revamp my technique and everything back in 2014, which is 10 years ago. And my coach was very clear that it's going to take a lot of time, and it's like erasing and overriding your old habits. And even now, as much as I would want to say my jump looks good, it's not perfect. And it's a long work. We'll see. What's next for me? For now, really try to get healthy. That's one. And we'll see how the season goes. And I would want to defend some of my points and hopefully stay within the world #2 ranking before the end of the year. And something I still want to do. I think it is doable. Definitely tough. But the points that I missed in the Olympics, not going to be that big, I would say, because it's not going to be like small, but the difference from silver to fourth place was 5 centimeters, and I think that's around 25 points, something like that. So I need to find 25 points somewhere along the season.
All right. So on a lighter note, this is from Bok from the Asian News Network. We hope to see you back home and give you the warmest welcome. Are you coming home anytime soon to the Philippines? And as a follow-up questions from Gab Ferreras, what is the update of the planned international pole vault tournament in the country?
Right now, I'm hoping to get on a call in a few hours or maybe the next day to actually get an update. As much as I would want to get involved, organizing a meet is still like the second priority until 2 days ago. So now, I would want to be able to bring an international competition. It's already registered, sanctioned by World Athletics. The idea is it's going to happen on September 20. It's going to be in Ayala Triangle Gardens. Ayala's taking care of it. To be honest, I need to understand where they are with the phases. We have a European consultant that does this here in Europe to make sure that everything is up to standard in the world class and the best of ability. And the surface that we're using is the same as what the surface here in Paris, in Tokyo, in Paris Olympics. So with the competition, definitely, that's one of the things that's I'm putting my attention now, and hopefully, hopefully you guys will have a world-class competition in Philippines.
All right, this is Jorn from UST the Varsitarian. What are your plans beyond competing, and do you intend to complete your studies at UST before LA 2028?
We'll see. I really am taking it one day at a time, seeing what exactly fuels my fire. The reason why I can't give you guys the answer that you guys I think wants to have, it's just that I don't want to lie. I don't want to go and say, oh yeah, we're gunning right away, this and that. And if I don't truly feel that, if I don't truly comprehend the sacrifices that I need to do, I don't want to be in LA and just be in LA. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to freaking win the thing. And I'm sorry for that language, but that's something I want to do. If I were to do that, I need to be able to look my parents in the eye that I'm probably not going to see them again for the next 4 years, at least. Maybe a month, a year at best. I need to understand that it's going to be another 4 painstaking years that I need to focus everything and live this life. And yeah, it takes a little bit of thinking to understand that. And I think I need to give myself time. And yeah, it's a decision that's pretty big. And yeah, but for now, I know what I want to do, at least for the next couple of weeks. I know for the next couple of, I would even say months. It's not that I'm in Tokyo, it's a question. It's like, oh, can I actually go toe to toe with these guys? It's not at all a question anymore. And I've been there in the past 3 years. I've been there. It's not like with all the things and all the circumstances that I've dealt with this year, I'm there. And it's not a question if I can compete. I know I can, but yeah, to be able to say that I know I can, what comes with that, dude, it's like, that's tough. That's a long process. And yeah, if I'm willing to do all of those sacrifices again and be able to live with my life, that's dude, that's some long decision, long thinking I need to do. And I hope you guys understand. That's why it's not that I'm saying that LA has a picture. If the competitive side of me, if LA's tomorrow, I'll probably be there. But we'll see. It's not an easy decision to make, and I think I need that time to process it and hopefully be able to fully commit and say with all my gut and all my being, and say, yeah, I'm going to be there and represent the Philippines to the best of my ability. If not, then not at all. That's not how I do things. We don't go out there and say, oh, we're just going to be there. I'm pretty sure if I just want to qualify, then maybe that's yeah, it's easy, but that's not what we do.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
I think that the one thing, just some perspective. The one is there's only one person in the world who's beaten Mondo twice in life, and EJ is that person. He beat him twice in the last 18 months. Now, the guy is quite impressive, and he's obviously set another world record, but EJ has beaten, that's the beauty. EJ has beaten every single person on the circuit. He's beaten Sam, he's certainly beaten Corrales, and he beaten Mondo, and it's finding the right day at the right time, and he knows that now, and that's amazing, because when I've gone to the Olympics with other athletes, they get to the stadium and they're intimidated because they've never met any of those people. And that's why, one of the discussions I had even with Terry Capistrano the other night was, you have to send our top athletes to Europe, because Europe is the center of track and field. We're never going to win competing in the Vietnam Open, in the Taipei Open, and the Hong Kong Open. The best athletes in the world are in the Diamond League in Europe. That's where EJ competes. Now he knows he can beat all of them. we need to send people that are prepared, that they know, and our athletes can be the best in the world, but they've got to go and compete against the best. The last thing is I would really ask all of us to give him a little bit of space on the 2028. It's incredibly premature that 48 hours after his competition, he's supposed to commit to something 4 years away. Let him think. I mean, for me, honestly, I've never asked him about 2028. You know why? Because me asking him the night he lost and came in fourth in the Olympics, what is he going to do for 2028 is the same thing as going to a funeral and you ask the man who just buried his wife, you say, hey, are you going to get remarried? You know, when he's just at the funeral of his wife. I mean, there's a certain amount of EQ and social intelligence. He all he wants is some space. I think we should give him some space. He's going to keep competing and let him just process all this. This is a normal thing. And we really don't want to see, outlandish headlines and things like that, because he's just asking for some time to process. And I think that's very fair and very appropriate. It doesn't mean he's not going to go. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, he just wants to go day by day right now. And I think that's an incredibly fair request from EJ. So thank you.
Yes, okay. So next question is, you are friends with Mondo and other vaulters. What did they say to you after? And my personal question is, I don't know if you know the French pole vaulter that gone viral in the Philippines. The one who has his thing. He got so viral.
Oh,
So what is your
yeah, we're all
friend say?
friends there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first guy that came to me was Emmanuel. I've known him since 2019. We've trained together. It's really good dynamics that we have. We're very, I mean, you've seen how we do things. I mean, we gave a good battle in Bidgosh. I've battled him throughout the season. Yeah, I have respect to the guy. I'm happy for him, but at the same time, it sucks. Yeah, I congratulate. I wanted to be the first one to congratulate him as well. It's I think there's a brutal side of the sport, coming in fourth with the same height. The beauty of it is seeing someone also get their first medal. It's a weird feeling inside, man. Like, it's yeah, and I'm happy for Sam, for everything that he's been through, getting his best Olympic finish just yet, and Mondo doing Mondo things. What can I say? I just wish him that he's happy and he's having fun, which I think he does. And yeah, with all of them, I think everybody has, yeah, I've said kind things and kind words. You know, they're how to say, yeah, they're still like competitors in each and one of us. So not everybody probably, you know, how do you say this? Everybody's just not on the podium's disappointed for sure.
All right. So the next one is from Freeman newspaper. What's your reaction to President Bongbong Marcos' statement that he vows to further boost Philippine sports? And as an athlete, what do you think needs to be done, if so?
Oh, I don't think we have enough time to say everything that I think what needs to be done. I'm just very happy to hear that the president of the country appreciates the sport, and I hope that sports can be utilized at its full capacity and be able to inspire a country. I think we're at the golden age of some. Italy has broken that barrier, and now we didn't even take that long to get another two. I mean, bravo to Kaloy, and bravo to everybody who's done pretty well. Like I said back in 2020, before even once that barrier is broken, it'll just come. It's the same as the first 4-minute mile. That after that, it's gonna come. It's just gonna flow, because the belief that's instilled with that win, it goes over sport. And what can I say? There's not gonna be it's not going to be the last Olympics for winning gold for sure. And I think it's just going to get better from here on out.
All right. So this is from Newslights PH. Okay. Congratulations, EJ. Which is better than your? Will you receive enough support to address your health issue? Mondo
Sorry?
Duplantis said new. Okay, sorry. Will you receive enough support to address your health issue? Mondo Duplantis set new record. Okay. Let's just answer the first question. Will you receive enough support? Did the government reach out to you? Did anyone from the government help you with your health condition?
I don't, with my health problems, I don't exactly disclose it
Okay.
to everyone, you know. I deal with it with my team, and I'm very blessed to have a team that, you know, capable of finding solutions for me. And there was definitely no stone unturned. We did what we could, and yeah, I'm proud of what we have achieved. I really am. I really am.
The questions are repetitive, so let me just check. So it's just 2028. I think EJ answered most of your questions, and yeah, here.
Ma'am,
Yes po.
pwede ho bang humingi lang ng clarification regarding the relationship of Mr. Lafferty?
I can answer that if you want, Sir Jim. Mr. Lafferty has been a good friend of mine. We started working closely. I mean, we started working 2015 when I got a random call that an American guy wants to donate 3 poles for my stint in the Singapore Sea Games. I didn't know who he was, and that's how we started. I basically pick up the poles in his house, and that's it. It was a very fast, quick, and to be honest, a little bit strange interaction because I didn't know him. I didn't know what he does, and I didn't really understand. All I knew was, okay, I wanted a pole. I needed a pole. I needed equipment to better train and better perform. And suddenly there's a patron out of the blue that steps up and say, okay, I'm willing to support this guy that he doesn't even know. Then I had supposed to be a career-ending injury, an ACL tear back in 2017. That's where I think we got really close. He helped me in a lot of decisions that I make, and he taught me to ask questions about how the procedure is going to be done, and helped me look for the best doctors out there to reconstruct my ACL, and really gave me a good perspective of what I would say, what the sport actually could bring, and what it means, and having an day in day out training in Makati. I remember that, and that long commute and training with him, seeing all this progress and all the stories that he has shared. To say the relationship is just a guy who gave me a pole would be a very unjust explanation. I think he is a mentor, he is a coach, he is a consultant, he might as well be a manager. But if what best describes him, probably a really good friend that I can call anytime and give me and tell me the things that I know is facts. If I did something stupid, I'll be called out, and it'll be stupid. If I do something wrong, it's wrong. And yeah, I would say it's more than not just a mentor, it's just more of a friend.
Alright. Tungkol sa mga nagtatanong kung anong plano ni AJ, future tournament, Olympic 2028, hindi po muna, just like what AJ said,
We'll
he's
take it
taking
one day at a time. One day at a time, guys. If you guys want to know the calendar competitions for this year, I still have a few. I'm competing in a few diamond leagues. That's the idea of it. But I said, you know, we kind of postponed what exactly is the problem with my back. Therefore, first I need to address that
Yeah.
and check, okay, I'm competing. If this preparation and this competition, am I doing more damage into it or not? And the reason we're looking about it is for the long-term approach. It's yeah, we'll take it one day at a time, and we'll see. If I feel like how I felt this past week, I think there's no reason for not for there's no reason for me to stop, and there's no reason for me to not finish the season and continue fighting for that points. So yeah.
All right. So what from Cheverlin? Hi EJ. On a lighter note, what was the silver lining that you would bring with you from this Olympics, and what would be your message to people who you've inspired in this journey?
Silver lining.
Silver lining that you would bring.
There's a lot. There's still a lot of silver lining into this. With everything that's happened, I still believe I solidified myself as one of the best pole vaulters in the current time, and yeah, I guess that's a silver lining considering everything that's been happening. I'm able to compete with the best of the best. I need to give my team and everybody's involved a pat on their back to be able to stitch me back up to where I'm at. Yeah. What message to everybody I've inspired? I think first I want to say thank you. I really need to appreciate all the love that I'm receiving, even though at times I don't feel I deserve it. It's been yeah, very, I don't even know what the word to use, but the outpour of positivity that came out of what a disappointment that I felt is immeasurable, and it's definitely a big difference. I didn't think that it would happen, and I didn't even expect. I just played my heart out and put everything out there. And as I said, I tried to be as candid as I could be, and I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to represent such a nation, such a country that raised me, a country that gave me all the values and traits that definitely makes a good pole vaulter, a good athlete, enduring, very patient to know the things, and people who make things happen. I think that's what our culture is, and I think that's what a lot of Filipinos can bring. We're very resilient, and I'm very proud that I'm able to represent all of you guys. I just wish that there was a way to materialize all of that, and I wanted that to be a medal in Olympics.
All right. There's no more questions, so yeah, I think we can wrap up. EJ, Boss James.
I have a quick
No, I
question.
think if there are other questions, they can go ahead and ask. I mean, we have time. If anybody wants to just go on the mic and ask, go ahead. We're here to answer everything that you have and give you the facts.
Mr. Peter, you're raising your hand, sir.
EJ, kumusta nga? Here's my question. You said before that the field that the pole vaulters who are before you, who are your friends, at the same time have improved and are already rising up in points also. Your thoughts on this? How have you seen? What have you observed from your other competitors, the other lower ranked pole vaulters behind you? How have they improved so far? Like Karalis.
I think we're forgetting that Karalis was the former world junior record holder. He was never a nobody. He jumped 580 already, going way back 2018, and
Yes.
He hasn't cleared 6.
he's just, how do you say this? He's able to get back to where he should be, I believe. And yeah, I mean, there's not. I don't think I even the right position to even say anything about the other guys because I don't even know everything that they've been through as well. You know,
I think EJ, what I would also say is that it's very fluid. I mean, you know, there's people going up, there's people going down. This is this is the nature of sport. And if you look, the last two world championships, it was the same three people: EJ, Chris Nielsen, and Mondo. And in these Olympics, I know Nielsen's had some problems. He didn't get to the final. You know, then you've got Corrales, who also medaled in the indoor worlds. Now he gets some of that. This is the nature of the sport. EJ is up, and then he has some tough times, and he goes down, and other people moving. There's constant movement of, you know, new people. If you look at when EJ started and got into the top 10, go look at who was in the top 10 and where they are now. Half of them aren't there anymore. People went down, they had injuries, or, you know, the end of their career, whatever the factors are. So it's not like it's just that people are rising up and EJ has more. There's also people are moving down and moving out of the lists, and things are changing and all of that. I mean, the terrible case of the Canadian vaulter, I forget his name, EJ, that, you know, that passed away not long ago. I mean, he was a world champion, and now he's passed away in his 20s. I mean, things, you know, this is the sport mimics life. The people are moving all the time and changing and going up and going down and going sideways and then coming back. And then this is the nature of sport. When EJ tore his ACL, he was told no one has ever come back from this injury. This was in 2017 in a warm-up right before the SEA Games. And when we sat down and he was demoralized and we said we get the right doctor and all that, I remember telling him, you can improve your strength. Let's use this time productively to train and get stronger than you've ever been. I don't think he was even cut from his allowances. Nobody even believed he would come back. I don't think people even remember what happened in 2017, 2018. He was cut from his allowances because nobody thought he would ever come back. And he came back and became number 2 in the world. It's an amazing story of his discipline and dedication. This is why, you know, the backbone of why I think, you know, he deserves our ultimate respect is what he is. You don't judge people by easy stuff. You judge them by the hard stuff. He's gone through so much. Accusations of doping, you know, all of the fights he had, you know, with the Federation 2 years ago. I mean, think of the things this guy has fought through. Somebody posted, a former Olympian, Davian Clark, who won a bronze medal in the 96 Olympics, posted on my Facebook last night. He said, with everything this guy has been through over the last couple of years, his 4th place is an absolute miracle. That's from a fellow Olympian and Olympic medalist. He wrote that last night on one of my Facebook posts. He said it's just unbelievable performance. From the knee surgeries to everything, EJ has been through the ringer. And he's proven that he's the better person. And for me, you know, I'm tearing up a bit here, but this is why the respect level is so high. This is an exceptional human being. Forget the athleticism. He's an exceptional human being.
All right. Mr. Dab Ferreras of Sports Corner.
Good morning, good afternoon, EJ from the Philippines. EJ, I have one question for you. Meron pong nagbigay ng cash incentive yung lungsod ng Maynila, which is amounting 500,000 pesos. So, and of course, expected some private sponsors to give out some private, some incentives for this participation sa Paris Olympics. Are there any plans to save it, to invest it, and to help also dun sa grassroots program po ng ating pole vault? Kasi meron kayong mga efforts na i-institutionalize yung grassroots program when it comes niya sa pole vault. Of course, yung fundraising. Salamat po.
If I understand the question is, it's about the incentives and how
Yes, po.
the athletes would use the incentives.
Yes po, with regards sa grassroots po.
I mean, I don't really know. I can't speak on behalf of everybody here. I think each and everyone is to their own, and it's their own money. It's their own how do you say, rewards and incentive, as we have said. Can't really say. Yeah, I mean, I think the grassroots program for me personally, yeah, I want to be involved into that, and I really, yeah, as I said, we've raised enough money to donate a whole set of pole vaulting facility. What I mean by that is a pole vault pit, crossbar, a couple of poles to get hopefully a small group of athletes to take up pole vaulting and get that system going. Should it be institutionalized? Should the athletes be the one? I don't think so. I don't think everybody needs to. I think that's how do you say? That's a really a very topic that I'm not very well versed in how to institutionalize all of these things. Yeah, but for me, the reason why I'm doing it is because I want to give the same opportunity that I was able to get, and I want to share that to everybody, to the kids, and hopefully they'll enjoy the sport that I enjoy, and hopefully they'll experience the sport that's brought me to the place that I've never thought I would be. And yeah, it has given me a platform definitely to make positive change. Yeah, I'm very blessed and very happy and very thankful to everything that's that this sport has taught, the good and the bad. And I would hope that other people will be able to take that, and by choice, because I'm very lucky that I was born in Manila, that we had a pole vault pit. But imagine if I was born in some island that didn't have the facility, then I wouldn't have taken pole vaulting. I probably wouldn't have been able to do what I've done and experience all of these, just because there was no possibility of it. And that's something I would want to change.
All right, I think we have one last question from Miss Rita Salonga. Miss Rita, are you there?
Yes. Hi,
Yeah.
EJ. I'm Rita from DZRH TV. Yeah, we spoke, I think, last year during. So, first, apology accepted for yung pinakaba mo kami during the qualifiers. Yeah. But even though you were serious at that time, you were still a little bit playful, especially during your post dun sa IG. With that, how did it affect your psyche moving forward and going to the finals? Did you make any adjustments, your preparations going to the finals after what happened during the qualifiers?
It made the final a little bit easier for me because, as I said, I had limited jump sessions, so I didn't really know which poles I needed to even change already my competition set in between the qualies and the finals, because I didn't realize that I could get on big poles. And it was a good thing. I would say poles were moving way too easy this first few jumps, and I didn't expect that to happen. In the final, we knew which poles to use and which height to attack. But I said, yeah, I mean, I think what happened in the qualies had a reason, and yeah, I mean, one jump.
Yeah, okay, one more. All right. Just one more question from Mr. Ivan Stewart. Sir?
Hi, good afternoon, EJ. So let's go back to the finals last Tuesday. You barely lost to Corrales. What would have been the strategy to overtake him for the bronze?
Well, I wanted to make the first jump at 95. Then that would have been a silver medal finish, as I'm ahead of Sam, if I'm right. So that was the goal. That's why I stick in the 95, and it was not a height that I think I couldn't make. I made 90 quite high. I didn't even need to replicate that jump. I just needed to make 95, and I truly believe I'm capable of it. I was deliberating, maybe I should have moved to 6 meters, but then again, an Olympic medal is an Olympic medal. So I stick to 95 and approach it the way I think, well, the way any competitor would. Like try to seize the moment. Yeah. Same thing at the qualifiers. I think I tried to seize the moment from 560, and I knew jumping 60 wouldn't even matter anymore in the third attempt. It wouldn't put me in the final, but 70 could. So it was it was those pressure time decisions.
All right, I think that's about it. We have already 1 hour. So EJ, any last words?
Sorry, pwede ko bang sumingit lang ng isa pa? I don't know if this was answered na, pero do you have plans to return to Manila?
I don't know yet. You know, I believe the Olympic Committee, Sports Commission, and my federation, and everyone in the sports authorities, I believe they are organizing something. I can't speak on their behalf. I don't really know yet. If I have, of course, my option, I want to first sort my health, get everything sorted, compete, and get everything the season, and see how everything goes. But I can't answer yet. I don't really have an answer for you guys. I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
All right, EJ, we'll let you rest. All right, Boss James, do you have any?
No, nothing more.
Yeah, all right.
Nothing more.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all, and thank you all for your support to EJ. And every messages on the message is all for your support. And thank you, everyone. We will send the recording.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Ate Rose.
Bye.
Thank you, EJ. Thank you,
Thank you.
EJ from POC.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.